Welcome, Cowboy fans, Cowboy haters alike. I'm the G, and I'm the host of Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. What's going on, Jared, Danny, Nisi? What's going on? Man, missed everybody yesterday. I had to take care of some stuff. It's kind of hard for me to do it on Wednesday. We're going to be back full speed today, but we got some great topics. And really, we only got two topics. But these two topics, they deserve a lot of conversation. What's going on, LaQueen? Good to see you. So I think I want to start this story off. I think I want to start the day off with the Zach Martin story. I think the Zach Martin story, it's interesting, but it's not interesting. It's interesting, but it's not interesting. What's going on, Janie? What's going on? It's interesting from the perspective that he's probably played his last down as a Cowboy. But not interesting from the perspective of the injury ending. Because this is pretty much being what it's been for the Cowboys. I mean, just injuries coming out of nowhere. I didn't even know Zach Martin was dealing with an ankle. I mean, I knew he was hurt. I didn't know it was an ankle. Nisi said this season has been bizarre. Everybody's using the media to get Jerry to see their point versus sitting down together. It's totally weird. This has been one of the craziest. What's going on, Danny? What's going on, Danny? Cowboys Nation. This has been the craziest season. Injuries. Now even Dak Prescott is using the press to say things he wants to say, and it's crazy to me. But I'm gonna get into the Dak Prescott one after the Zach Martin, because this Dak Prescott one, I'm sorry, I got too much to talk. I got too much to say about this Dak Prescott thing with Mike McCarthy. What's going on, Lord? I'm sorry, Jared. What's going on? Yeah, we about to get to the nitty gritty. But as it pertains to Zach Martin, I'm not surprised. Something didn't look right with Zach Martin all season long. A lot of folk don't realize, but Zach Martin don't get holding calls. I mean, if Zach Martin gets more than 2 holding calls in a season, everybody kind of like, what's happening? He just don't get them. He's strong, smart, tactician. There's a reason why this man has been to, numerous Pro Bowls. 11 Pro Bowls? 9 times All-Pro, I believe. It is insane when you think about how this man's career is ending with the Cowboys. And when I think about Zach Martin, I don't think about just Zach Martin. And I'll get into this injury thing in just a moment. But when I think about Zach Martin, y'all might not realize this, but Zach Martin to me is signifying an end of an era. What's going on, Chris DeWalt? This is the end of an era. We are literally watching this entire Dallas Cowboys franchise flip. And I mean all the way flip. And it's only a matter of time. Do we not realize Dak Prescott will be flipped too? 3, maybe 4 seasons. It's a 4-year deal. Dak might only see 3 of those. I wouldn't be surprised they cut loose at 2028. Some people think 2027. I don't think so. I think they're going to do 25, 26, 27. I think 28 will be the year. If they don't cut him that year, they'll cut him at the end of the year. But we're literally watching the end of an era, of 2 eras of Cowboys leaving. I think about Tyron Smith, Travis Frederick. What was his name? Zach Martin. Zach Martin, Travis Frederick, Tyron Smith. Tyron Smith, I think, was 2011. Frederick was 13. Zak was 14. So for a minute there, the Cowboys had a very dominant line during the Tony Romo era. Tony Romo enjoyed about 2 years, 2 to 3 seasons of this. Dak Prescott only enjoyed 2 to 3 seasons. We had Travis Frederick. Travis Frederick had to suddenly retire. I can't remember the exact year. Let me see. So he retired in 2020, but he had already stopped playing, I'm thinking in 2019 or whatever the case may be. But there were moments where the Cowboys had a pretty good offensive line, sometimes great, but we have to understand Tyron Smith wasn't always consistently healthy. And then, like I say, Travis Frederick, he started going down, and it was kind of the end of that. But I think Romo and Dak's first year, Romo probably enjoyed the most or benefit from it, and Dak benefited from it in particular in the 2016, was it 2014 or 2016? It was Dak's draft year is what, 2016? So Dak enjoyed it that 2016 season. So it was the 2016 season that Dak enjoyed it. So he didn't get to enjoy it either, but about a good, 2 to 3 years, because because Travis Frederick actually started having the issues, I think, in either 2019 or even earlier. So, but it's a shame when you see Hall of Fame players like that do not get to enjoy a Super Bowl because they were really that good. They were really that good. And we've seen now Tyron Smith has went on to the New York Jets, and right on cue, Tyron Smith is hurt. Tyron Smith is hurt, and so now he's got to make a decision. It's crazy when you think about it, but Zach Martin, it's the end of an era. Zeke, he'll be gone. I mean, this team is literally about to be turned all the way over. Dak is literally going to be the last of the Mohicans. Dak is going to be the quarterback of a very young team unless they go in free agency. Unless they go in free agency and pick up somebody. But, when it comes to Travis Frederick, Zach Martin, like I said, Zach was not having the greatest season. I mean, he really wasn't, man. Zach was not having he was really on a downward spiral. And I don't know if it was all from injury, but I do think that we may not realize it. But you think about what Jerry did to Zach Martin the last season of his career. I mean, he basically let go of 9 starters. And I don't care how good you are. It matters, even as a lineman, who they have around you. It matters. It really does. And I think with what they put around Zach, he just couldn't do it. I mean, I think it was making him do more than he was probably prepared to do this season. And so you think about it, Zach Martin is the last of the Mohicans. I mean, Dak's the last of the Mohicans, but Zach Martin to me is really signifying that this older Cowboys regime, they're about done. They're about done. And so we're going to be looking for a new quarterback probably in 2027. I think the Cowboys will draft a new quarterback in 2027. And so it's about to be the end of an era. It is. What's going on, Chris Gomes? Thank you. Always great content. Go Cowboys. Speedy recovery to Zach Martin. Yeah. I'm at work. I just want to say Tyron Smith, Martin, and Travis Frederick, best O-line at the time. Yeah. No Super Bowl. It's terrible. It's terrible, man. And you hate when guys like that go out like that. But at the end of the day, you think about this. I got 2 things that I think may be true. I don't know if Zach Martin is actually going to retire. Because I think that there will be some teams who are willing to throw some money at Zach Martin, even if he'll give them 1 year. Revelation said, hey, G, with Jerry and this Cowboy team, it's no longer about Super Bowls, but all about the theater of his Cowboys. You know, and this is the problem. I mean, this is starting to be a trickle down. This is starting to be a trickle down effect. It matters. And I'm telling us, we do not, I hear people talking and they do not understand teams. We don't understand teams. Football is the ultimate team sport. And I mean, you need everybody from top to bottom, all the way down to the ball boy. Everybody got to be on the same page, down to the ball boy. And I know people wish that it wasn't like, but everybody has to be in this mindset. They do. We do. And so we're looking at right now a transition of the Cowboys, but we're also seeing the thing that's really scaring me about the Cowboys is even though they're going to probably, I mean, it's not probably, they're about to turn over everyone, including Dak in 3 years. But it's not getting better. It's getting worse. The Jerry Jones effect is getting worse. When I hear Dak Prescott start speaking out the way he did, it's getting worse. It's getting worse. And I want to look at a couple of things here before we transition to the Dak Prescott story, because I want to just kind of I want to put a period, if possible, on the Zach Martin story, because I think there's a little bit more to it than people are understanding. Jay Army says, I like Cooper Rush. I wish Rush got a chance with Dallas when he was drafted for Dallas, but Dak was playing and Cooper never got to start to prove himself until now. He can read defenses. Well, Jay Army, I mean, I hear what you're saying. Cooper Rush has been out there too. Man, bro, he's been out there like 2 times. I mean, he's literally been on the market twice. I mean, what do you mean you want him to get a chance with the Cowboys? He's had chances, though, with other teams. And we may not realize this, but he did get a chance with the Cowboys before Dak got that deal. If Cooper Rush was balling out like Kirk Cousins was balling out with the Washington then Redskins, if Cooper Rush was balling out like Kirk Cousins, the moment Dak went down, the same way RG3 went down. If Dak Prescott, if Cooper Rush is balling, Jay Army, and I know you don't mean no harm, but I'm explaining. Jay Army, Dak never hits that field again for the Cowboys. He never hits that field again for the Cowboys. Cooper Rush has had opportunities. I don't feel sorry for Cooper Rush in no stretch of the imagination. The man has hit free agency and nobody has wanted him. Why does he need a chance with the Cowboys? I mean, he could have got a chance with anybody. I don't feel sorry for Cooper Rush. Sometimes you are what you are. I was talking about this today on something earlier. You are what you are. You are what you are. And some people don't accept that. But you are what you are. You are what your performance says you are. And Cooper Rush, and what people won't admit, these NFL guys, they're not dumb like a lot of, they're not Dak hating like a lot of the Cowboy fan base does. And like some of the people in the media do just for the headline. Nah, they're not dumb. They're looking at so much tape on these guys. They're looking at so much tape. They're looking at every single throw. They're analyzing every single throw. Cooper Rush doesn't have a defense reading problem. Trust me, Jay Army, that is not his problem. It's his lack of velocity. He cannot throw the ball. He can't throw the ball far. The further he throws it, the less accurate he is. I'm telling y'all, this is why he's not hitting these seam routes the way that he should be, where they're wide open in this offense. This is why, if you look at his numbers, anybody looking at this man's numbers, they know, man, these things are pedestrian. They're literally backup numbers. And the only way you can get away with having Cooper Rush numbers, the only way you get away with Cooper Rush passing numbers is you better have Jalen Hurts running numbers. You can't get away in this league with Cooper Rush as your quarterback for the whole season. You can't get away with Cooper Rush. You can't, because it's going to come a time where he's going to have to run the ball. It's going to come a time where he's going to have to throw. He's going to have to literally, and I'm telling you, I do not want it to happen this week. I do not want it to happen this week. I keep hearing these people say this stuff, and it doesn't make sense. Oh, man, Cooper Rush is going to rack up. He's going to have a career game against the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm telling us we do not want Cooper Rush having a career game, because I don't think it's going to turn out the way we think it is. You can't tell me that Cooper Rush is better than Jameis Winston. You cannot. There is no discussion. Cooper Rush is not in the same stratosphere as Jameis Winston. But Jameis Winston showed us something. I don't care how good you're playing, because Jameis Winston was on fire. You throw the ball 50 plus times, it's a recipe for disaster. I don't care who you are. Cooper Rush is good. He's doing what you want him to do, which is keep your head above water while your starter gets healthy and gets ready for his turn. That's it, Lawrence. He is what he is, a backup. That's it. He's a good backup. That's it. We don't need to tack anything else on the Cooper Rush. People keep tacking things onto this man. Wow. I mean, the stats the stats out of context they make up. Wow, he's the first Dallas Cowboy quarterback to go 5-1 in his first 6. Shut up. This is stupid talk. This is stupid talk. This is literal stupid talk. So is he better than? Okay, he's 5-1. What? We're saying he's better than Roger Staubach. Are we saying he's better than Troy Aikman? It's insane to even believe. What, he better than Tony Romo? Dak Prescott? Stop it. This stupid talk. It's pure hatred. It's all in his stupid talk. Because I keep giving the same question every time someone says this stuff. Well, if he's that good, why has he hit the open market twice and nobody wanted him? You telling me that the Dallas Cowboy fans are more observant than every other NFL team in the NFL? None of them. Man, I'm telling us, the answers are right in our face, and we won't answer these questions. But I digress. Let me get back to Zach Martin, because I want to get to this thing with Dak and Mike McCarthy, because I got a whole lot to say about this. So, Zach Martin was already no longer going to be a Cowboy. And I don't know if he's going to retire. I think there may be a team that may throw him a boatload of money to let him come on for maybe 2 years. I really think Zach Martin, if he gets his body together, I can see him being one of these guys that can play into 35, 36. I could see him playing 2 more good years. I think the Cowboys, just like they did Dak Prescott, when Jerry decided to go with all these young guys, I want y'all to think about what Jerry did in particular to Micah Parsons, what he did to CeeDee Lamb, what he did to Dak Prescott, what he did to Zach Martin. Jerry put so much pressure on CeeDee Lamb not getting him another wide receiver. Jerry Jones put a ton. Folk do not understand. What they have done to CeeDee Lamb, they have literally beat this man's body to death. They have beat CeeDee Lamb to death by giving him a contract, but not for whatever reason, not getting him another wide receiver to alleviate some of the pressure off of him. So now, teams, y'all think about this. I said this when I first began this channel at the beginning of the season. I told y'all exactly what I would do to Dak, what I would do. I told y'all exactly what I would do to CeeDee Lamb. I told you exactly what I would do. It's simple to me. This is simple football. So you're telling me you only got one wide receiver. And whether we face it or not, the Cowboys have only one legitimate top 100, top 5 wide receivers. No one else. None of their other receivers are in the top 100. None of them. So you're telling me all I have to do is stop him. And he's a finesse receiver. And there's nothing wrong with that. CeeDee's a finesse receiver. Bottom line, he is. He's a finesse receiver. He's not the kind of wide receiver like the Dez Bryants of the world where you say, hey, I need you to get me 7 on that slant. Yeah, I need you to run right into the teeth of the defense and take it. Take whatever they give to you. Take the hit, whatever, boom, boom, boom. That's not CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb is a finesse yak wide receiver. Yards after the catch. The man is nice. He nice with it. CeeDee Lamb catch a pass, they better get their hands on him. He nice with it. He's slippery. CeeDee get away from you, man. You look up, CeeDee done got 15 on you before you even know what's going on. CeeDee nice with it. CeeDee Lamb nice with it. But he's a finesse receiver. So if he's a finesse receiver, then what I'm going to do is then I'm going to beat him down. Okay, I'm going to hit him every time. I'm going to jam him. I'm going to hit him. I'm going to pull on him. I'm going to tug on him. We're going to triple team him. We're going to do everything we can do. And if it's a run play, even if he's not in the play, we're going to make sure we get a hit in on him. I want you to think about this. So the Cowboys have now played 12 games. CeeDee Lamb already, y'all, and this is insane, CeeDee Lamb has 124 targets. That's crazy work. That's crazy work. And then when you look at on the other side, CeeDee Lamb has had 13 carries. He's had 13 carries. So that's 137 touches. Now, you may say, oh, that's no big deal. I mean, he did more than that last year. That's the problem. That's it. Look at this. This is what you're doing to this man. This is what you're doing to him. 181 targets? 195 touches? That's crazy work. That's crazy work, man. That's crazy work. Somewhere in there, you got to figure out a way to get this man less targets. Not more, less. You need someone on the other side of him that can counter him to where you can pace him at around 8 to 10 receptions. Maybe 8 to 10 receptions, maybe 10 to 12 targets. But man, people do not understand. They beat CeeDee Lamb to death. You think about what they did to Zach Martin. They put an inexperienced line around Zach Martin, and people may not realize it. That means Zach Martin is getting beat to death too. Zach is having to take up slack and or whatever the case may be. Oh, he's the best guy. Oh, let's take him out. We don't understand what they've done to some of these older players on the team. And even when you think about Dak Prescott, they did Dak Prescott a disservice this season. They put Dak Prescott behind a line that was not ready to go. They did. They put Dak behind a line that wasn't ready to go. So Dak had to endure that line. And so when you think about all those things, this is really some of the stuff that happened with Zach Martin, injury. Dak Prescott, injury. CeeDee Lamb, injury. Even Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons was complaining at the beginning of the season he cannot be the only one making plays. Remember in the beginning of the season? DeMarion Overshown was not yet playing, coming off of the knee injury. It was D-Law, it was Michael out there and the rest. Eric Kendricks is getting acclimated. Nealon, all these guys, they're getting acclimated. Micah was saying, I can't be the only one. He was saying what they were doing to him. They were double teaming him. They were chipping him. They were sending guys in motion. And when they come out straight out of motion, bam, tight ends, collisions. They were really doing Micah Parsons up. This is what Jerry did to this team. This is why Micah Parsons got hurt. I mean, when you really start digging into the analytics of some of this stuff, you know why these guys got hurt. Micah Parsons, undersized, going against that New York Giant offensive line. The line was pretty good at the beginning of the season. He's undersized, trying to run through all of that. And so you think about what they did to these guys in the beginning. And so now here we go. And we actually act like this was all last season. But it's amazing what 2 wins. It's amazing what 2 wins do. I mean, 2 wins make us feel like, it's like some of us think like this was last season when some of this stuff was going on. But Zach Martin is the epitome of some of this stuff going on. No, I know you're not saying that, J.O., and that's why I say I don't think you mean that. But I'm saying I'm saying he's actually had opportunities. And guess what, J.O., he about to have another one. He's a free agent. I'm interested to see who wants him. I'm interested to see who wants Cooper Rush again, because I was proven right the last time. I said when Cooper Rush becomes a free agent, let's watch the frenzy. There was no frenzy, J.O. And I know that's not what you mean, but I'm saying this as a blanket statement for all as it pertains to Cooper Rush. J.O. says, I'm saying if Cooper Rush gets things he's bad at better, he can be solid. I'm not saying he's taking Dak job. I'm saying he can be solid. Well, see, the problem is too, J.O., you got to look at what has to transpire around Cooper Rush. Your team around him has to play out of their mind. They literally have to play out of their mind. You know how I know? Did they play out of their mind? And this is not about you, J.O. I'm just giving some facts here, some context. Did the Cowboys play out of their minds against the Philadelphia Eagles? Nope. They didn't. They turned the ball over. Cooper Rush turned the ball over. Zeke turned the ball over. The defense, while they stopped Saquon Barkley, they couldn't do anything with Jalen Hurts. Cooper Rush couldn't do anything. A team with a pass rush, Cooper Rush is a sitting duck. It's over. Any team with a pass rush. And this is why everyone is saying that this game is winnable against the Cincinnati Bengals, because they're saying that the Cincinnati Bengals defense is that bad. But I'm telling you, man, people do not understand. One, Cincinnati going to get up to play Dallas. Cincinnati going to get up to play Dallas. They are. Cincinnati, I promise y'all, they're getting up to play Dallas. We're going to do our whole thing about Cincinnati tomorrow. Cincinnati going to get up to play Dallas. Book it. It's Monday Night Football. They're getting up to play the Cowboys. And who knows what could happen on Sunday. Because the Bengals, like the Cowboys, in their minds, they're not out of it yet. The chances are very, very slim. But you better believe they want to win. They want to win. And Burrow did not like the fact the last time he lost against Cooper Rush. I'm telling y'all, these quarterbacks they literally have egos. They like going up against each other. And they definitely don't like losing to a backup. Even though they're not, quote unquote, playing the backup, they still don't want to be beat by a backup. No. Jamar Chase, he's already looking forward to Trayvon Diggs. I'm telling y'all, you better get ready. Trayvon Diggs ain't the Trayvon Diggs that faced Jamar Chase. And Jamar Chase definitely ain't the Jamar Chase that faced Trayvon Diggs. I'm sorry. Trayvon Diggs is better than what he was when he faced Jamar Chase is better than what he was when he faced Diggs, and Diggs is worse than what he was when he faced Jamar Chase. Boy, we better get ready. I know, Cooper Rush gonna have this career. Man, J. Army, so many things have to go right around Cooper Rush. You saw what happened in the Washington game? I keep explaining this. The game was like watching wet paint dry for 3.5 quarters. All of a sudden, Kevontae Turpin breaks it open with a return kick. Jaden Daniels comes back, throws it to Laughlin at the sideline, and we think we're about to see a shootout, 27-27. Oh, but wait, let us not forget the extra point. Bad snap, bad hole, bad kick. 27-26, game over. That is what happened. And then to add insult to injury, they also got the onside kick and ran that for a touchdown too. 34-26. I mean, I'm telling you, man, so many things have to go right around Cooper Rush. You look at the New York Giants game. Demarion Overshown, tip, interception to the crib. That's what broke the game open. You take that away. We won the turnover battle, and we let the New York Giants score 20 points. I'm sorry, people ain't letting that sizzle in their spirit. We're not letting that sizzle in our spirit enough. The New York Giants with Drew Lock's first start on Cooper Rush, what? Fourth start? Third, fourth start? And we have to win the game on a last-minute pass, 27-20? I'm just saying, so many things have to go right with Cooper Rush, man. I just don't know. And I'm telling this, J. Army, other teams are watching this stuff. They're watching this stuff. And they're saying the same thing. We don't want Cooper Rush to be our starter. We don't even want him to be our bridge quarterback. This is what they're saying. Who don't think, well, because some people keep talking about Cooper Rush. Why didn't the Raiders get him? Why didn't the Raiders get him? Are they saying that they know something we don't know? What's going on, Keith? We're going to get to it in just a moment. I want to put a period on this thing with Zach Martin. But I'm saying they're watching Cooper Rush. They're watching every play. And they're saying he's just not good enough. He ain't even solid enough to even go to the Raiders. I mean, that's saying something. Because is he not better than Minshew? He's not better than O'Connell. I watched O'Connell. I don't think he's better than O'Connell. I watched O'Connell. I don't think he's better than O'Connell. Cooper Rush is what he is. And he's riding the defense and the special teams. And what we're watching right now is fool's gold. It is absolute fool's gold. If you look at 2022, no one wants to look at the analytics. No one wants to look at the box score. He was atrocious against the Rams. The Rams beat themselves with 3 turnovers. The man only had 102 yards passing. He was atrocious against the Rams. It was the defense once again. He was atrocious against the Philadelphia Eagles. They exposed him. And it was only going to go downhill from there. He comes back this year, and what happens? The defense all of a sudden looked like 2022 defense against the Commanders. I don't think they look like the 2022. Well, somewhat. I will say they somewhat look like the 2022 defense, but Overshown is just an absolute monster. He broke the game wide open. But you're eventually going to get to the game to where we're going to have to finally say, so when is Cooper Rush going to win a game for us? Because one thing about being a quarterback in the National Football League, You eventually going to have to stop hiding behind your defense and all these things. They're going to have to be able to hide behind you sometimes. Nisi says, until Jerry GM owner spins to have a complete team on both sides of the ball and let coach without interference, and that team fails, then I will criticize. And Jerry, and we're going to talk about that in just a moment, because I got a bone to pick with Mike McCarthy. But again, I want y'all to understand, Zach Martin was already done with the Cowboys, y'all. It didn't really matter what was going to happen this season. Zach Martin's career was over with Dallas because, he got a contract extension a couple of years ago or something to that effect. And this was pretty much Zach Martin's contract. Zach was done. They're cutting Zach. They were already going to cut Zach Martin. So it's one of those things where you like, you know what, man, I hate to see him go, but the reality is he was already going to be gone. You see all these void years? He's done. 2025 doesn't seem to be guaranteed. See, if you'll notice, the contract term says 2 years. So this is the guaranteed year. I'm not sure how much money they're going to save or how is this going to work out, but I think they were already going to cut Zach Martin. They were already going to cut him. So irregardless, he was not going to be on this team next year. He was going to be just like Tyron Smith. They were going to let go of Zach Martin. It's a tragedy how it's a tragedy how some of these great Cowboy players end. Yep, Amp Sports, the whole offense suffered because of the line this year. This thing that Jerry Jones did, it hurt the whole team. All of them. This is why I keep telling people, we do not understand the 90s Cowboys with Troy Aikman. Troy Aikman was not the driving force of those teams. The driving force of those teams was their offensive line, and I would even dare say even their defensive line. Offensive line historically better, but their defenses were top 5, top 10. But they were predicated not on Troy Aikman's arm. Everything was based on their line, then the run, then Troy Aikman. And he ate on play action whenever he was needed. But Emmitt Smith and that line was the driving force of that team. What's going on, Daryl? My guy working hard in the YouTube streets. Let's go. Yes, sir. I'm telling us. And so when you think about you think about this whole thing with Zach Martin, do y'all know the reality is what happened to Zach Martin is the epitome of this Dallas Cowboys season? It's the epitome of this Dallas Cowboys season. It is. That line, whether we understand it or not, man, that line has been, it's been the center of a lot of these woes. They were basically unsettled on their offensive line. And because they were so unsettled on their offensive line, it just disrupts so many things. It really does. And so, I mean, this Zach Martin thing really is just the epitome of everything that's happening. And the players are taking it pretty hard. They are. A lot of the players, I mean, you heard Micah Parsons about 3 games ago. He said the guys who he felt sorry for was the Zach Martins of the world. And I said it when he said it then. People may not be paying attention. Micah Parsons was saying too much because the reality of what he was saying is he was almost giving us inside information that one way or another, Zach Martin wasn't going to be here in 2025. It's basically what he was saying. Why would you be feeling sorry for him? Who's to say he wasn't going to come back the next season? But he told us everything we need to know. Yeah, not quite, Bo Allen. They ain't going to forget the game, forget that game last year. And, you know, it's so crazy how Jerry is in his feelings. What's going on, Roberta? It's so crazy that Jerry's in his feelings that he blew up a whole team over the Green Bay loss. He basically blew up the whole team. But at the end of the day, I don't respect what some of these guys have been saying, like the Shady McCoys. We dealt with him the last time. But Shady McCoy said Jerry has put some good teams around Dak Prescott. No, he has not. Jerry Jones has put some great players around Dak Prescott, but some shoddy teams. There's a difference in having 9 All-Pros and having a good team. It's strange to me that the teams that are winning the Super Bowls, they're not claiming all those All-Pros. They're not claiming all of these Pro Bowls and all. They're not claiming that stuff because they have better teams. Green Bay, no one wants to accept it. They had a better team from top to bottom. I'm talking about the coach. I'm talking about the GM, how they're ran. LaFleur is better than Mike McCarthy. I mean, he is. He's more innovative. He's more creative. He might not have a Super Bowl yet. But I don't find it to be odd that Mike McCarthy can't beat him. I'm telling us, they blew up a whole team, and players are suffering for it right now. You know, the Daks of the world are still going to be here. No, I don't take it as you attacking J.O.M. I know exactly what you're saying. So we on the same page. It's just I feel like he's going to start losing his mobility, and I want a quarterback that's a fast, and Dak is probably going to be a pocket passer because Cooper Rush ain't it. But I'm telling you, Dak Prescott, it's not like he's listening to me, but you remember what I said about Dak Prescott? Dak Prescott in his rehab, what did I say he needs to get? A running coach. You know what Dak said he's going to do in his rehab? A running coach. He's going to get someone to help him on his mobility. And I think they need to make sure whatever's going on with Dak leg, they need to get that straightened out. Because in these last 3 to 4 years that he's going to have with the Cowboys, I'm telling y'all, I truly believe, get ready, 2025 is not going to be the Cowboys season. They're going to be better in 2025. They're going to be a whole lot better. You watch what I tell you. 2026, book it. If you never see me again, book it and remember, 2026, the Cowboys are going to make a ferocious run for the chip. I mean, they're going to make a ferocious run. A ferocious run. Because the draft picks they're going to get this year, and I believe they're going to get a running back. I believe they're going to get a wide receiver, probably get another defensive end. I think they're going to really try to hit hard in this draft. And I'm going to say something about this thing with Mike McCarthy in this draft too. But the Cowboys are really going to try and hit hard for 2025 so that in 2026, they're going to make a ferocious run. And if they mess around and get a Bill Belichick up in the building, they're going to really make a ferocious run in 2026. I think the 2026 season is the season the Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl. And also, Jay Army, I do think Dak, while he won't be that running quarterback from the rookie season again, I think Dak is going to be in better shape. He's going to pick and choose when he runs. But I think Jerry knows what's going on with Dak, and I think he knew before what happened to Dak. Jerry knew, because what did Jerry say the game before it? He didn't want Dak running because those running quarterbacks get hurt. What would make him say that? Dak got hurt the next game. The very next game, Dak Prescott was hurt. So I believe Jerry, what he's going to do, he's going to make sure that Dak is not going to have to worry about being a mobile quarterback any longer as far as running upfield. Only thing he'll be asking from Dak is to vertically run. No, horizontally run. I'm sorry. To horizontally run. Just buy time. That's all we'll need you to do from here on out, Dak. We won't need you to be doing any read options. We're going to have a running back or backfield that's going to be, you think about it, is Jared Goff a running quarterback? Nope. Jared Goff's not a running quarterback. He's got the top team. He's got the top team in the NFC. The second best is Jalen Hurts. Now, he is a running quarterback, but watch this. The third best Is Sam Darnold a running quarterback? Nope. You don't have to have those guys anymore. Even Michael Parsons talked about this in a podcast a few weeks ago. He said that we've been spoiled by the running quarterback. And he said there's nothing wrong with having a traditional quarterback, as in a quarterback that don't run. And I was kind of like, okay, is he kind of alluding to Dak Prescott here? But this was Michael Parsons even saying this. So I think what the Cowboys are going to do, they're going to make sure that Dak don't have to worry about running. Jay Recruiter, Cowboys need to put up 27 points to win. I think 31. And I don't even know if 31 will be enough, Jay Recruiter. I think the defense will do their job. I hope you're right, but I'm telling you, I just think Pittsburgh's defense is better than ours. And they weren't able to do it. The Kansas City Chiefs, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, the Baltimore Ravens, they couldn't do it. The Baltimore Ravens couldn't hold this team down. I mean, it literally took a John Madden video game play from Lamar Jackson to beat them the first time, and then the second time it took the referee help to beat the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm telling you, man, Zimmer, I won't be surprised if Zimmer can do some things. But the problem is the Cowboys will have to do something they literally have not done all season. They literally haven't been able to hold it together for 60 minutes. On defense, they haven't. They haven't been able to hold it together for 60 minutes. And this Dallas Cowboy team, it hasn't shown us this yet either. Once you get up on them, they're done. That's it. If you can get up on them by more than, 7? You get 10, game over. Mike McCarthy flips that Waffle House play sheet over. Now he finna go into the territory he don't want to go to with Cooper Rush. And when he does it, he makes him more susceptible to turnovers. I'm telling you, we don't want to shoot out this team. And I'm telling you, if I'm the defense coordinator for Cincinnati, I'm going to dumb this game down for my team. I already know what the Cowboys want to do. Run, ball control. Run, ball control. So we're going to stuff the run. We're going to stuff the run. And we're going to take a chance. And if Cooper Rush can beat us, doggone it, he's going to beat us. But we're going to put a pass rush on him that's going to be out of this world. I mean, it's simple. I mean, this is going to be a great game. This is one of the games I can't say I've looked forward to a lot, but this is one of the games I'm looking forward to. What's going on, X-Crush? Will we ever use Trey Lance? It's stupid. Trey Lance should be our total red zone offense. All of it. Every last piece of it, he should be it. And I have not figured out yet why the Cowboys are not using this man. Why are they not using him in red zone? I mean, he opens up so many things if you put him in the red zone. But I don't know. We'll see, but I'm ready. I am ready, and I'm ready for this game. I'm ready to see it all. CB says, how many games have KC won in the last minute this year, and they champs? It's the NFL. Yeah. They've been doing it, and some of it, CB, needs to be studied. Because I don't care what anyone says. They cheated the Raiders in that last game. That was a false start. And they gave them an illegal shift, and it was not an illegal shift, and everyone knows it. But no one wants to talk about it because it's the Chiefs. It was literally a false start. The Chiefs need to be studied at how they're winning some of these games, man. Bo Allen said Cooper Rush is a poor man's Dak. In fact, he's Dak next season. Stop. I don't know if he's I can't say he's a poor man's Dak. Because we saw what Dak was in his rookie season. When has Cooper Rush had that season? And his 5-1 record is fool's gold, just like the 7-3 or whatever it is now. It's all fool's gold. We've seen Dak, even the greatest Cowboy hater, Colin Cowherd, has said, Dak Prescott is confusing. Because sometimes you see Dak Prescott and you say, hands down, he's the best quarterback in the league. I'm thinking back to the game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in that playoffs. I'll never understand how Dak Prescott did that in that game, and then Kellen Moore and Dak Prescott did what they did against the 49ers. Now, I know the 49ers defense was better than the Buccaneers that season, But you can't tell me that they couldn't have took some of the things from the Buccaneers game and did that in the 49ers game. We've seen Dak at his highest and lowest. You don't see any of that from Cooper Rush. You've seen him at his lowest, but I think we have seen him at his highest. The problem is we don't want to accept that his ceiling is extremely low, and it's not about Dak Prescott or Cooper Rush, y'all. Stop mentioning Dak Prescott. Cooper Rush has been a free agent in this league twice. Not once, twice. And he's about to be a third time. So y'all keep telling me y'all seeing something that the NFL is not seeing. I'm not believing you. You need more people. You need more people. Taylor Sampson says your bridge quarterback is Dak Prescott. Cooper Rush is just your backup. If you want to draft a young quarterback, you want Dak to be the bridge guy. Well, yeah, Dak is going to be the bridge guy now because this will be Taylor Sampson. What's going on? Dak, this is Dak's last hurrah with the Cowboys. Dak has 4 seasons max, 3 seasons at the least. 3 seasons. And that's why I say I believe 2026 is going to be the ferocious run by the Cowboys will be in 2026. What they're doing right now and what they're going to do next year is going to be the setup for the 2026 and possibly 2027. But I think 2026 will be the ferocious rush, and then 2027 will be the last hurrah, and then they'll make the decision then on whether or not they're going to cut Dak Prescott. I think they'll draft Dak Prescott's replacement in 2026. 2027. I think they'll draft that quarterback then. And I know y'all keep talking about Cooper Rush as the bridge quarterback. No, I wasn't talking about Cooper Rush being the bridge for the Cowboys. I'm talking about Cooper Rush being the bridge for another team. No other team wanted him to be the bridge. The Raiders didn't even say, let's give you a 2-year stint. The Raiders didn't even say it. No, they didn't. No one has said it. This stuff for Cooper Rush, we got to understand. Take Dak Prescott out of the equation. This has nothing to do with Dak. This has everything to do with every other team in the league. 31 other teams have all said the same thing about Cooper Rush. They knew his 2022. I said it then and I'm saying it again. 2022, everyone saw 5-1. But no one believed it like the Cowboys fans did. You know how I know? Because he's still here. He's still here. People could have had him. They didn't want him. This talk about Cooper Rush is nothing but the hatred of Dak Prescott. It's nonsensical talk. You got to explain to me, how does a man this great be on this team? You can't convince me. You need more people. Roberta Baker said, I wish I could hit the lottery. Then I could buy out Jerry and help out our Cowboys. Man, I don't even know if Jerry would sell the team. I don't even know if he would sell it, Roberta. I wish we could get a coach that stands up to Jerry. Yeah, that's why we're going to transition here in just a moment to this thing with Mike McCarthy. The Real Fan 1, the Cowboys are too much of a mess. And see, this is the problem, I think, too, Real Fan. I think the problem is we're going to have a problem. I said this early on. I said this a month ago. I said it 2 months ago. The Dallas Cowboy fan base are so fickle to me. It's like we're a reflection of the owner. We literally feel like we're privileged. We're always talking about what coach we should get. Ooh, what quarterback we should get. And ooh, this and that. What make you think that some of those people want to play for us? What? What make you think these people want to play for us and coach for us? It's not just, folk don't understand. I've said this for years. Folk don't understand how hard it is to be a coach and a quarterback for this team. I'm talking about those two positions in particular because they are the ones who have to deal with the owner the most. I'm laughing that we think we're all that in a bag of chips, ain't won nothing since 1995. We ain't won flip, nothing. And have the unmitigated gall to be hating on Tony Romo and Dak Prescott, the best two quarterbacks they've had since doggone Troy Aikman, and they lucked up on both of them. Tony Romo, undrafted. Dak Prescott was supposed to be a high second-round draft pick, had a DUI incident, wound up being a fourth round. Dak Prescott on any other team, Joy Taylor said it herself, Dak Prescott on any other team would be an absolute hero in this league because everybody would be recognizing his talent. But it's because he played for Dallas with the star on his helmet. What? What do we want? Man, I love this team, but we need to be in reality. We got folk who always hating on the quarterback, hating on the coach, hating on this, hey, what we should get. What do we deserve? We ain't done absolutely nothing in 30 years, running around here acting like we the dynasty of the New England Patriots. Like we the Kansas City Chiefs. We ain't neither one of those teams. Then I be laughing, we talking so down on Dak, and man, we should get Shador. What make you think Deion Sanders want his son to play for the Dallas Cowboys? I laugh at, we are a reflection of the owner. Like we're privileged. What make us think that Shador Sanders want to endure this mess? The owner, the media, and a fan base that after the first 2 years of you, once you don't win after 2 to 3 years, because we keep putting everyone on the Troy Aikman scale, who had a literal Hall of Fame team around him. The moment you don't win after 3 years, we're done with you here. Man, I be laughing at this Cowboy fan base. It's toxic, man. 15 to 25% of it is toxic. Freddie says the NFL is worried that the Cowboys will make a playoff run because they will prove that you didn't have to go on a yearly free agent spending spree every season. You can build a playoff team solely through the draft. Well, I tell you this, Freddie, it hadn't been proven yet. And I don't think the NFL is afraid of what Dallas is doing. I think some of us are in la-la land. Cowboys are not going on no doggone magical carpet ride. I'm just being honest. We're not running through these teams, y'all. We're not about to run through these teams. We're not. And if we do, great. But the odds of us running against this is less than zero. It's literally less than zero. The collapse that all these teams will literally have to have. I know we want the Commanders and the Giants. I know we want those types of wins every week, but it eventually runs out, man, and it's mano a mano. You're either going to beat the man in front of you or you're not. You're not going to get no fluke plays. You either going to get in front of somebody, helmet on helmet, and you're going to be better than them, or they're going to be better than you. And we're not as good as some of these teams. We got to start accepting this stuff. What's going on, Kevin Howard? Robert, what's going on, Robert? And you're hitting it on the head, Robert. But the problem is, not only will Jerry not hire that coach, but the question becomes, does that coach want to come here? Why would he want to come here? That's the part people keep missing, like we're privileged. Who wants to come here in their right mind? That's why I was telling folk getting mad. Why would Deion Sanders want to leave Colorado and come here? Why? Make it make sense. I told folk for weeks. Why would Deion want to come here when he don't need this team? When you come to the Cowboys, you want everybody to know your name. It don't mean you're going to win Super Bowls. I mean, you just kind of want everybody to know your name. You go to other teams to win Super Bowls. How do I know? Because we hadn't won one in 29 years. That's how I know. And I've seen the kind of coaches that Jerry Jones hired. And I've seen how he lucked up into Tony Romo and Dak Prescott. I've seen what this man has done on so many different levels. And I keep laughing. We keep talking about, man, like we get to pick the cream of the crop. Man, what make us think Ben Johnson want to come here? What? This man probably looking at the Dallas Cowboys laughing. Oh, I don't want to deal with that fan base. Oh, I don't want to deal with that owner. I don't want to deal with the media as it applies to the Dallas Cowboys. Let me go somewhere where it's not about a marketing agency. Let me go somewhere where they focus on football and win. Jerry, he don't want nobody to come here and turn this team around without him being the one doing it. That's the problem. Jerry is not content with being in the background. He want to be in the foreground. He want to be in the foreground when they win. And I tell you this, Cowboys mess around and went out. I don't want to hear another person complain about Jerry Jones. Not a one. I don't want to hear one person complain. I don't want to hear one person complain. You know, I always laugh. These are the comments that always make me laugh. It says because Dak can't get it done. Had he got it done against the 49ers, he would have the Eagles in 2020. You know, it's funny that you say that because who's gotten it done since Troy Aikman with a Hall of Fame super team? I'll wait for you to tell me that. I'll wait on you to tell me that. Because, see, you want to talk about a man that's been here for 8 seasons, 9 seasons. I want you to tell me, so what? So you got an excuse for Tony Romo too, right? And then you got an excuse for everybody that came in between Troy Aikman. They couldn't get it right either, right? So no one has been able to get it right since Troy Aikman, right? Because it's always been their fault. They haven't been able to get it together because they're the ones who putting the team together. They're the one who's doing the coaching. They're the ones who's doing everything, right? You know what? That's why I say I wouldn't want to come here for anything in the world to deal with people like that. Folk who don't know nothing about football, ride their emotions, don't know what they're seeing, don't understand football business, don't understand the common denominator has been Jerry Jones, and don't understand that if you don't have everything going from the top down, I can show you every single team that's won the Super Bowl in the last 10 years, and they are nowhere near the toxicity of this team. And some of them, if you go back 20 years, some of them have won with quarterbacks less than Dak Prescott. Man, miss, pure foolishness. There are teams out there that could actually win a Super Bowl with Cooper Rush. There are teams out there, I mean, come on, man. Trent Dilfer got a Super Bowl. Y'all don't know nothing about football. Some of y'all are just emotional. I wouldn't want to play for this team if you paid me to with some of this fan base. Robert M. says it's called the law of diminishing returns. Dak is pretty good, and that's all he's going to be, improve the team around him. So, Robert, let me help everyone out with what you just said. See, let's not take this as a knock against Dak Prescott. Let's take this as being a great GM and a great coach. So y'all think Dan Campbell, y'all literally think that Dan Campbell looked at Jared Goff and said, top 5 quarterback in the league. You tell me yes to that question, I already know everything I need to know about you. Do you actually think that Howie Rosen for the Philadelphia Eagles right now thinks, Jalen Hurts, top 5 quarterback? If you tell me yes, you don't know football. I promise you, Howie Rosen ain't looking. He's not looking at Jalen Hurts saying, top 5. Top 10. I promise you ain't doing it. But you know what he is doing? Okay. We know what he's not. We know what he is. So rather than worrying about what he's not, and instead of putting the team on his shoulders and making Jalen Hurts throw the ball 50 times a game, 350, making him throw the ball 50 times a game, going for 350 yards a game, 3 or 4 touchdowns. Nah, that's not who he is. That's not who he is. Let's give him not one, let's give him 2 wide receivers. Let's give him a tight end. Let's go out and get the best running back we can find in free agency. Let's get him Saquon Barkley. Let's fix it to where we don't put the whole franchise on the arm nor the legs of Jalen Hurts. You think Detroit said we're going to put this whole franchise on the arm of Jared Goff when Sean McVay clearly said he ain't good enough to win here? I'm not willing to put the team around him that he needs to win. Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions said, we are. Come on over here, Jared Goff. We don't need a top 5 quarterback to win the Super Bowl. We don't need a quarterback that's going to have to do it all and cover up the deficiencies of this team. Now, you don't have to worry about that over here, Jared Goff. We know exactly what you are, bro. We know exactly what you are. And we know you can't do it on your own. We know what you are. We've seen it. Come on over here. We ain't worried about what you're not. We're worried about what you are. We'll put everything around you to make sure you're successful. No, Jerry Jones said, Dak's going to have to do more with less. Miss me, toxic side of the Dallas Cowboy fan base. Miss me. I'm not even giving you any, no, I'm not even listening to you. Brother Rod, what's going on? Appreciate that $1.99 super chat. Appreciate the thumbs up. See, we're the only team to do what our fan base does. We walk around talking about what our quarterback can't do rather than saying, well, okay, well, whatever he can't do, then let's get some pieces around him. But not Jerry Jones. We've already had this exercise for you latecomers. We've already done the exercise of you show every single team that's really legitimately in the playoff run. Every team that's legitimately in the playoffs, they went and put a running game around their quarterback, including the Kansas City Chiefs. Miss me. Robert M., I understand diminishing returns. I do music. I do this stuff. You have to buy computers. You have to buy cameras. And one thing you learn is you buy computer equipment, you buy cameras, you buy all this stuff. You start realizing, okay, now I got something that can do almost everything. So do I need a new camera that can do everything when it really doesn't do but maybe 2 or 3 things that my camera I have presently don't do? Or should I say, hold on a second, that's a bad investment when what I have is already working. How about I go get a better lens? How about I go get a better lens with better autofocus and a lens that shows more clearer, better in low light? How about instead of changing out my camera, how about I get better microphones to go with my camera setup, a better mixer that goes with my camera setup, a better hub that goes with my camera setup? Maybe I get a better monitor to help me, a better. Do you understand what I'm telling you? Folk who worry too much about what they don't have, this is why you never will have. But folks who say, hold on a second, this is what I have. Let me build around what I have. Let me build around it. Let me make what I have better. And whatever it can't do, I'll get something that can do it. And I'll be even more. Watch this. Do you realize you're actually better when you get better pieces around a good piece than you are when you say, I'm not going to put anything better around a great piece? Y'all can miss me. I'd rather be a good quarterback on a great team than a great quarterback on good to average teams. I don't want to be Dan Marino. I don't want to be Dan Marino. I don't want to be Dan Fouts. See, some of y'all might not know those quarterbacks. I don't want to be Dan Marino. I don't want to be Dan Fouts. I don't want to be known as some of the most prolific passing quarterbacks to ever step on the gridiron and never have a Super Bowl. Better miss me. I'd rather be Phil Simms up in this piece. Not trying to be the greatest quarterback ever to never get a Super Bowl. Man, y'all, some of y'all, I'm telling y'all, I couldn't play on y'all team. Chris said what's crazy to me is that Jerry does not like Dak, even though they paid him all that money. And I'm just like, why would they pay Dak all that money if they don't like him? See, Chris, I keep explaining this to folk who don't know football business, who don't know the whole game of football. You know why they paid Dak all that money? and why they won't pay Cooper Rush. Ooh, I'm about to hit y'all with a real lesson now. I know the Cooper Rush fans are going to be all in their feelings, but I just have to keep speaking facts to you. See, when Todd Francis sits down at a table with Jerry Jones, Todd Francis says, hey, Jerry, so you kind of like, I know it's kind of what you're doing with Dak. You acting like you don't like him or whatever the case may be. You trying to play around with the money, and you acting like you don't want to sign Dak Prescott. Well, that's cool with us. Y'all might not realize it, but Dak was saying this during the negotiations. Boy, when Dak said this statement right here, Dak said 2 statements that put this thing all the way out of its misery. They asked Dak, they said, what do you think about not having a deal right now? He said, it doesn't bother me. He said, but it speaks volumes. Wait, what? It tells you how they feel about you. That's pressure number 1. Because now I'm putting you out in the court of public opinion. Because I'm saying that you obviously don't like me, or there's something you don't like about me, or you're saying I'm not good enough, even though all my numbers, all my wins, and someone says we hadn't won in the playoffs. Okay, Lamar Jackson hasn't either. And they're still walking around saying we're not going to hold him against him if he don't win this season. What? Oh, okay, so we raised the bar for Dak, but when it comes to Lamar Jackson, who we say is better, has a better team, has a better coach, better organization, but if he lose again, and he's been the very reason why they've been losing, throwing interceptions in the end zone in the playoffs, but if he lose again, it's okay. Y'all better recognize. Y'all notice how Derrick Henry is slowing down? Y'all notice how teams seem to be getting the best of the Ravens more and more? But because Lamar Jackson, 2-time MVP, 1-time unanimous, it's okay. It's okay if he 2-5. But it's not okay for Dak to be 2-5. But when Todd Francis sat down, you know what else Todd Francis sat down and said? Hey, you know what, Jerry, it's cool. It's cool you don't sign Dak. We got 5 teams you know about. We got 5 you don't know about. You ready for that, Jerry? Are you ready for that? Because when Dak leave here, he's not going to a sorry team. Now, Dak going to a contender. Dak is going to a contender that's going to have draft capital. They're going to have players, and they're going to have a GM who's ready to roll. So what you going to do, Jerry? See, some folks don't understand. You can't come to a negotiation, Chris, unless you got something to negotiate with. I got to have numbers. I got to have wins. And I got to have other folk who want me. You want to know why Cooper Rush can't do that? Well, you got to tell me who want him first. You got to tell me who want him. Most folk ain't like the Dallas Cowboy fans running around here nuts over a 5-1 record where we can clearly see if we just pay attention to the game. Hey, hold on a second, man. Cooper Rush, hey, that was great what you did against Cincinnati. That last minute drive got us the field goal and we won the game. Okay, Cooper Rush, that's cool. But when we watch them other games, whoa. Defense, special teams. See, you can do that to the Dallas Cowboy, the toxic part of the Dallas Cowboy fan base. You can take Cooper Rush record. You could literally take Cooper Rush record to Jerry Jones if you are the toxic part of the Dallas Cowboy fan base, and you could get more than what Dak Prescott got. But folk who really know what they're watching, this is why Cooper Rush is still with the Cowboys. What does he have to negotiate with? A cult following because of 5-1, 7-3, stupid records like, the first quarterback to go 5-2. What is stupid talk? Hey, look at the tape on this dude y'all talking about. What does his arm velocity look like? What is this? Is he mobile? I mean, what's this guy y'all talking about, this mythical unicorn? I'm expecting to see a cross between Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes. And then I see Cooper Rush. Man, miss me. He can stay with the Dallas Cowboys, and that's exactly what keeps happening. Exactly what keeps happening. Moulton says as long as Jerry keeps pressing scrums after games and does his 2 weekly radio shows, Cowboys ain't sniffing a chip. Something's got to change. Something's got to change, and I'm telling us. And this stuff, and I'm noticing it's going top down. I don't think they dislike him. Everybody could call me crazy. I don't think they do either. But I also think he's good for the business and how they treat him. The fan base is so fickle and arrogant. Honestly, they make me sick. I wish I could be half as perfect as they think they are. It's crazy to me, Freddie, how they talk about, I mean, it's like we're going to get the cream of the crop of coaches. Man, I don't understand why a coach would want to come here. Did Zeke have any 90-yard scoring runs? Because Dak had multiple 90-yard drives in his rookie season. And you know what? Dak had the team that was built for Tony Romo. That's all you need to know. Put players around him. It was the same thing they tried to do with Tony. It was after the catch season they finally said, Freddie, let's put some players around Tony. Let's go get him a running game. DeMarco Murray, we ran him in the ground. Let's go get the top running back in the draft. Almost pulled it off, and then Tony got hurt. And we're not going to blame it on the fact that Dak lost. I'm sorry. Dak ran up against prime Aaron Rodgers. Boy, that's a pretty tall glass right there. Oh, man, hold on. EK said, what's going on, EK? Sounds like Mike is happy going 2-2 with Cooper Rush. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Strange. Roberto's up going to have to pray fervently. This might surprise you, G, but I'd rather have nah, hey, I don't know half what those guys know, but I'm telling you, man. Hey, Jay Recruiter, Ben Johnson not bringing his players. We overrate coaches sometimes, but watch this. Let's go to the other side of that argument, Jay Recruiter. And he also know that even if his players were available, Jerry not going to get them. Ben Johnson, Jay Recruiter, you know what he's saying? I don't want to play for no coach today. I don't want to play for a GM who's not going to give me no coach. Who going to say to my quarterback? You're going to tell my quarterback he got to do more with less. No, you're telling the coach you got to do more with less. You telling the team you have to do more with less. And then you get people looking side-eyed at the doggone quarterback because if they don't know football business, they're talking about, well, we can't have no players because we had to sign Dak Prescott. What? This is crazy. We don't even know what we're saying sometimes. And I'm not talking about you, Jay Recruiter. I'm saying people who talk like this. They don't understand that Jerry has created what's called in the regular work world a toxic working environment. Do we not realize that when Jerry says Dak has to do more with less, the whole team has to do more with less? Woo, this is crazy. Freddie, this ain't no surprise to me because this is exactly where I thought the Cowboys were. I thought the Cowboys were basically saying we're about to build up for 2025, 2026, 2027. And I don't even know for sure, Freddie. I don't even know for sure if this is not Jerry's intention still. Because Jerry said something when they asked him on the fan on Tuesday. When they asked him on the fan, Jerry said something that I thought was very telling. He asked Jerry, if you went out, is there any way that you would deem this season a success? Jerry basically told him with all of his word salad, no. Jerry said with the outlandish chance that we have to make the playoffs. I mean, we got folk running around here has the unmitigated gall to try and compare this Dallas Cowboy team to the New York Giants team that beat Tom Brady that ran. This is crazy talk, man. This is crazy talk. We're literally comparing this team to the team that beat the Patriots with Tom Brady. Boy, this is, whew. I don't even know what to say about this stuff, man. It's so literally ridiculous, man, that we try to compare this stuff to those types of teams. Not understanding that defense that they had, the pass rush that they had was absolutely insane. Absolutely insane, man. Boy. That's why I say, boy, any coach that come here, he going to have to deal with this. Appreciate you, Wicked. 100 plus viewers on 23 likes. Hit that like button, subscribe, smash that bell for all this great Cowboy content y'all are receiving for free. Appreciate you, Wicked. Hey, I'm probably gonna take you up on that offer in the offseason. I'm gonna see what it's gonna take me to handle two teams. The Cowboys gonna be my team, of course. Robert M says the Derrick Henry situation proves what we've known all along. Jerry calls all the shots, all of them. Woo, boy, Robert, boy, we about to go on. We about to say something now. Dak is better than Big Ben ever was. Ben was only good at getting away with. Put some respect on Dak name. Hey, man, I tell you, Ben had teams around him. People don't want to get him. It makes me mad when people don't give teams credit. But, hey, man, he had a team around him. Marlon Brando, Trent Dilfer got a Super Bowl, one of the best defenses in NFL history. Hey, Marlon Brando, don't forget that running game. Woo, don't forget that man's running game. That man had a killer running game. Kevin Howard said Trey Lance should play Monday. It won't be Monday. It won't be Monday. I have a feeling that once they lose a game, for sure, if they lose two, I think you'll see Trey Lance for the rest of the season. There will be absolutely no reason to continue to play Cooper Rush. We already know what Cooper Rush is. We know what he is. Go ahead and play Trey Lance. Play Trey Lance. I'm saying because of injuries, help him out while he's worth helping. Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. Mike McCarthy needs to go. Jerry Jones needs to go. And Stephen Jones needs to go. I'm sick of the BS they're doing. And McCarthy as a traitor is sickening. Watch this. So let's transition. We've kind of put a exclamation point on Zach Martin. He wasn't coming back anyway. And, for everybody who say they feel sorry for him, I mean, you got to think about how Zach Martin probably feels too. I mean, wouldn't you be mad at what Jerry Jones did this man's last season? I don't know about y'all, but I'd be furious. You don't think Zach Martin can see what Jerry did? He let go of 9 starters. Pump the brakes on Derrick Henry. I'm telling you, I said the same thing. But I've been watching Derrick Henry these last few games. He looking a little worn out. They might need to let him sit a couple of games, but 70s fan. They now have put themselves in a situation to where the Ravens can't afford to sit him. They can't even afford to sit the man now because they need him so bad. They need him. They need him so bad. But I don't know what they're going to do now. I don't know where do you rest him. But I think, and I could be wrong, but I think he needs some rest. I really do. Do y'all realize the Ravens are now 8-5? And I told y'all before that Monday night game, now the Broncos, they did some things that I didn't expect. I mean, their defense is top 5. I can't believe they let the Browns put up that many points. But I'm telling you, the Chargers better watch out. And let me see, hold on a second. Not the Chargers in particular. Hold on. The only thing that's going to save a lot of these teams is that the fact that the Broncos are in the AFC West. And the Chiefs are number 1. But I tell you this, the Broncos, y'all think the Green Bay Packers beat the Cowboys last year? The Broncos, boy, they are one of those 7 seeds I would not want to see unless their defense performed like it did on Monday night. Because before that time, they were just killing people. But the Broncos, man, they're going to be the real deal. They are literally going to be the real deal. But, man, I'm telling you, the Ravens are now 8-5. Man, the Broncos could easily get that number 5 spot. I mean, boy, I'm telling you, man, I'm with you, 70s. I'm kind of wondering if Derrick Henry has maybe run out of a little bit of gas, and I think he needs some rest. Jay Allman says, don't say teams are starting to figure out Derrick Henry that he's slowing down because all the Jerry supporters will say, Jerry. You know what, man? The one thing we don't want, boy, we do not want Jerry to be right. We don't want Jerry to be right, man. We don't. We don't want Jerry to be right. But you know what? I think the issue is going maybe in the era of 70s, they might be running him too much. They got to figure out a way to get him, maybe spell him some. Belichick is interviewing with North Carolina. Jerry better text him. Man, I'm telling you something, boy. I'm going to tell you the thing that really got me. Jerry was right. Castro said Jerry Henry is washed. Hey man, but I let Jerry be right. They blame Derrick if you want, but Baltimore receivers don't scare anybody. I'll give you that part too. That's part of football. We just have to stay loyal to our team. That part too. The 70s fan, Dak haters say Cooper Rush should be the quarterback because they hate Dak. The four-letter networks could be to blame. Well, you know what too? He's big business for him. Dak is big business for this league. There's a reason why people don't want to give it to me, but I'm telling you, there's a reason why these ratings are down, and the only thing I can see that's happened, I mean, we got parity in the league, minus the Chiefs. Something's going on there. But, I mean, it's everything you want except for what? I said this early in the season. I said the NFL needs the Cowboys to win. How much more interesting is the NFL if the Cowboys are in the playoff race? And if the Cowboys ever get to the second and third round, the NFL going to explode with ratings. Jerry Hill was in the bizarro world. Yeah, for sure. Jerry's idol was Al Davis. For sure, he operates a lot like him. Ryan, what's going on? 2002 Bucks with the same great defense. Didn't need an elite quarterback. Ryan, I'm telling us, man, we don't, people keep talking about what Dak is. Now, I don't care what he's not. I know what he is. You don't need an elite quarterback. You just need to put the pieces around him. I can't stand these DP haters. They're like last year with CR went 5-1. They talking about CR is better than Dak. And everybody knows he's not. That's why he's still here. The Eagles with Saquon Barkley. Man, let me tell you something. Saquon Barkley is probably going to be the greatest success story in the league this year. He don't like he's slowing down to me, 70s fan. Saquon Barkley, but I tell you this, if I'm the Eagles, I would start figuring out some places where I could slow down Saquon a little bit. I would. Kevin Howard, that's why you need two good running backs. And that's why I'm saying I'm getting ready to release a video in the next couple of days that, and I think I might have already released it. But Rico Dowdle isn't enough. Rico Dowdle, I'm proud of you. I've been saying all year they should let you be the starting running back. But I think they need to go out and get Ashton Genty, go get one of these, or go get another one of these rookie running backs. And they need to allow them to be, you need a 1-2 punch. You need a 1-2 punch. And we already know they're not going to let Deuce Vaughn do it. They're just not going to let Deuce Vaughn do it. Ain't nothing we can do about it. So we might as well accept the Deuce Vaughn thing. And I still say, boy, I'm telling y'all, I'm not going to be surprised if Deuce Vaughn goes to another team and all we going to hear is Deuce Vaughn. I won't be surprised. All we're going to hear, y'all, is Deuce Vaughn because somebody going to use him right. And when somebody uses him right, I think Deuce Vaughn is going to be absolutely nasty. So I want to switch gears. To this. I want to switch gears to the Mike McCarthy thing. This has to be one of the craziest. This to me tells me so many things about this Dallas Cowboy team. And I took some notes on it because I'm going to do I think I did do a video on it, but I have some more thoughts on it. I've kind of been listening to some things that people have been saying about this. And I'm kind of torn. I'm hearing some of the things that people are saying, and they're talking about the response of Micah Parsons. So I'm going to play this thing with Mike McCarthy. First, I'm going to play Dak Prescott because you have to hear Dak Prescott first for this to even make sense. Because Dak Prescott, and this is so uncharacteristic of Dak to me, it's like, what in the world is going on with this football team? That Dak Prescott decided that he was going to come out, and I know what's in Dak's mind, but I got some things even to say about what Dak is doing and what some of these players are doing. But I'm going to let you hear what Dak Prescott said. And then we're going to listen to what Mike McCarthy says. Let me cue it up to the right spot. Y'all give me just a second. Okay. So I'm going to tell y'all the crazy part to me. And I want y'all, there's something that I keyed in on that I hadn't heard nobody talking about. Nobody is talking about the part that I'm going to let y'all in on. And y'all tell me, did y'all key in on this particular part? But I'm going to take you to the second question she asked Dak. Let's roll it.
Coach.
Yeah, absolutely. When you say that you believe in him, I mean, just because you haven't talked publicly in a little bit, what do you want fans to know about your belief in Mike McCarthy?
Yeah, that I believe in him wholeheartedly. I don't want to necessarily get into the nuts and the screws of it all, obviously, but I think he definitely deserves a chance, another contract, and a chance to coach this team amongst and kind of, I guess you can say, more influence on his terms. Maybe be a good way to say it. But I wholeheartedly believe in him. The guys won a Super Bowl. I know Jerry's attested to that. There's not many guys or coaches who have done that, and to have one that can do it from experience, and I know how valuable he's been for me.
Absolutely. Last one on Mike. How did he help you offensively last year? I know some of it didn't carry over in the game books this year, but you took a big step as an offense last year. How has he helped you as a quarterback?
Yeah, so many ways. I mean, he always discusses, starts with the quarterback, and then obviously footwork's one of the main ones I've always, glorified in the sense of just calming my feet down, tying the routes with the feet and the timing of that. I think that's a huge foundation to now the way that I play this game. And I mean, I credit Mike for it, but so many nuances of the games. And, excited to just continue this rehab and missing the hell out of the game right now.
Dak Prescott, y'all. I want y'all to wrap y'all head around this. I think Dak is frustrated right now. I said this early in the season. This is not new. Not new. I told y'all this man is frustrated. And he's even more frustrated now. Dak knows what was at stake. He knew going behind this young offensive line. He knew what was going on. He knew the story. He also knew and in on some of the stuff that Jerry's doing, but I don't think he liked it. Now, he said something in there on the second answer. Dak said, as the leader of this team, I think that was very telling. Because y'all remember what what Michael Parsons said? Michael Parsons said, and then he came back and apologized for it. He said, well, Mike can go get a job anywhere. As if Mike's already out the door. The one I feel sorry for is Zach Martin. As if Zach Martin's out the door. And now here's Dak Prescott. He's saying as the leader of this team, but I want Mike. So now we got Mike. It's like Dak is still trying to establish he's the leader of this team. This is why Dak is still on the sideline. Dak right now is already talking about he's going to get rid of his crutches. And wait, hold on a second. Everybody like, hold on. You need to stay on the crutches as long as you need them. He's ready to get back. He's ready to get back to work, and he's ready to get back to work. He's going to be ready by training camp. But I found it to be odd that he said, as the leader of this team, I want Mike back. And then he sings the praises of one Mike McCarthy. But then, I did a video on this and dropped it yesterday. But then, Mike McCarthy comes back. Mike McCarthy comes back and says this. Let me cue it up. Y'all hold on. It'll be just a minute of silence. Hold on.
Utility providers don't want you to know about this trick to warm up houses for practically zero cost. This space.
My son is Braxton.
Y'all hold on. I got a couple ads. I got it queued up and a couple ads are playing.
I think the importance of the meeting is so you are on the same page, and you're in there and you're going, well, I like this. The importance of it. Yeah, definitely.
What's been your comfort level with Coop and understanding what he wants?
Of the season, live against Pittsburgh. Well, I think just like anything, I mean, we have to build off of how we played as a team. You know, of
explosive offense with Cincinnati and those receivers. And
I mean,
all right, you guys hold on. I want to make sure I get this queued up.
Good plays, they wouldn't be in there. Maybe, you know, I could have probably used a couple more reps. And I always thought that was an indictment on his input, because I learned, I think, the importance of this. So you are on the same, you know, because the importance of it is he knows what he wants, he knows what he likes.
Thanks.
Yeah, definitely. You know,
Mike Todd Archer with ESPN. We talked.
That'll definitely be part of the, you know, the outlook to this game and so forth. Had clear understanding of the
coach beyond this season, and in there he talked about how he'd like to see you get more.
Be in there, but it's.
All right,
it's the confidence and the connection.
Some of y'all probably already heard this.
There's, you know,
hold on just a second.
It's not what you call; it's really when you call it, and that part of it in the preparation phases, I've always felt is very important.
Yeah.
This is none other than Mike McCarthy. The very next day after Dak said what he said. Listen to this.
John Michaud with The Athletic. In an interview yesterday, Dak talked about how much he believes in you, how much he wants you to be the coach beyond this season. And in there, he talked about how he'd like to see you get more influence, and he'd like to see you coach on your terms. Do you think that you've been able to have enough influence and coach on your terms?
Yes, definitely. I mean, I think it's like any job in this one specifically. I mean, I had clear understanding of the responsibilities. This is the most input I've ever been a part of as a head coach in personnel. So, you know, particularly in the draft, you know, we spend a tremendous amount of time as a coaching staff, you know, during the draft, draft selection and preparation process. So, you know, and it's different. I'm just trying to give you an answer, trying to compare it to, you know, my past. But yeah, so I'm not sure exactly, you know, what he meant by it, but yeah, I think it's just like anything. You know, we're in year 5 of our program. I think we have a lot of excellent things in place. I think we have some things that we can do better, and you know, I think it's all part of growing, and that's no different than the way I felt in year 5 and 6 in my last opportunity. Okay.
So Nisi, everyone else, let us be clear from this point forward. Mike McCarthy gets no more excuses. Absolutely none. Mike McCarthy gets absolutely no more excuses. So Dak Prescott created an opportunity. He created an opportunity so you could literally you could literally say, hey, you know what? I haven't been given the opportunity to do what I want to do. I haven't been given the opportunity to do this and do that. And yes, there has been some things where me and Jerry haven't agreed on. There's been these things where, but no, what does Mike McCarthy do? Mike McCarthy folds like a lawn chair after a wedding. And Mike McCarthy, rather than saying some of that's true, instead, he throws Dak Prescott under the bus, rolls over him twice, and then persists to put Jerry Jones on the pedestal. And he says, this is the most input I've ever had? Hold on a second. Because I can clearly remember there was a time when Mike McCarthy said that he didn't agree with running back by committee, but that's what we're going with, so that you make that decision, Mike McCarthy. I can clearly remember that they were saying that Mike McCarthy wanted Aaron Jones, but Jerry Jones brought in Ezekiel Elliott. Do you remember that decision, Mike McCarthy? And then when I think about the fact that y'all let go of 9 starters on this team and decided to go with all these young guys, and then I heard you come out, Mike McCarthy, and say you don't want to build your team through the draft, that you should be developing players, and that you got to do some things in free agency. So you telling me, Mike McCarthy, that you're saying that it was your decision to let go of 9 starters and let this team run out here with all these young guys talking about we're all in. You telling me, Mike McCarthy, you were a part of the fact that they didn't sign CeeDee Lamb and didn't bring him in until August and didn't sign Dak Prescott until the morning of the first game. But then I heard you just a couple of weeks ago in a press conference say, well, you should have all of your players in the training camp after the draft? But you're saying this is the most input you've ever had? Hold on a second. Maybe this might explain some things, though, y'all. Maybe this might explain some things. Maybe this may be why they took Schoonmaker in the second round. And Schoonmaker, while he may be now, it seems like his trajectory is going up. But you don't spend the second round on a tight end and he don't come in immediately and start busting heads. He don't start making a difference. You telling me that you've had an input in some of these things going on, Mike McCarthy, and you decided that you didn't want a running back nor a wide receiver? You're telling me you were a part of the Amari Cooper thing and a part of not bringing Amari Cooper back? Mike, don't get no more excuses from me. So it's been you, Mike McCarthy. It's been you who's been deciding that you wouldn't run the ball with Dak Prescott in the game, but then when you get Cooper Rush, now you're going to start running the ball. No, you don't get no more excuses. You don't get no more excuses because you have just simply said that you have been a part and you have more input on anything that's been going on. But I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell y'all something straight up what I believe. I'm going to tell you what I believe. What I don't believe is Mike McCarthy. I don't believe Mike McCarthy. I'm with you, 70s fan. I don't believe Mike McCarthy. Because you know what I believe? Dak Prescott has been to Mike McCarthy's family's house. I believe Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott talk. Not just on one day a week. I think they talk on a regular basis. I think Dak Prescott and Mike McCarthy, from time to time, I bet you they pour their hearts out to each other. Dak Prescott is saying what he's seeing. He's saying the same thing that Cole Beasley said a few years ago that people don't like. Cole Beasley said the folk upstairs determine who gets the passes. Dez Bryant said, I can remember in my contract season, Tony Romo wasn't throwing me the ball at certain times, trying to get my receptions down, trying to get my yards down. I remember people saying things like this. It is absolutely insane what Mike McCarthy did because anybody listening to him, they have to know he's a liar because Dak is saying not only what he's seeing, Dak is not only saying what he's hearing, Dak is saying what Mike McCarthy is telling him. James Jones said something today, Niecy, based on the statement you made. You said Mike made a deal with Jerry. And Emmanuel Acho was saying that he think that this is Mike McCarthy trying to get in good with Jerry, putting Jerry on a pedestal when he knows full well what Dak Prescott said is true. Mike knows it's true because he got it straight from the horse's mouth. I don't believe Dak Prescott goes out on a limb and says something like that unless he's been talking to Mike McCarthy. Wicked, you said it. Dak doesn't pay Mike. See, Dak's speaking now because, hey, man, Dak said, I don't care what y'all do. You cut me you want to. I still get $200 million. I still get $179 million. I still get $179 to $200 million, even if you don't want me. What you going to say, $31 million? Dak said, I don't care no more. I'll say the truth. I wish Mike could be the coach and coach on his own terms. Y'all remember earlier when Mike said I was mad at myself because I didn't let Trey Lance play? I promise y'all I wouldn't be surprised if he would let Trey Lance play, but it's Jerry Jones who's saying don't do it. We already know Jerry Jones got a play sheet. What do you need a play sheet for? What GM has a play sheet to the game? What owner has a play sheet to the game? And then Jerry Jones be on the radio talking about, well, we thought. What you mean we thought? You're pretty deep in the you're pretty deep in the play. You're pretty deep in the play sheet, aren't you, Jerry? Game plan, play sheet. I mean, you could tell us about the injuries. You could tell us everything, can't you, Jerry? Jerry tries to be involved in everything rather than allowing the football people to do it. This ain't the first time that Mike has thrown Dak under the bus. He hasn't been on the same page as his quarterback all season. Boy, I bet you. And you know what? James Jones, who is a huge Mike McCarthy apologist. Boy, he said something today I never thought I'd hear him say. He said, well, if this is the case, he said, I've been giving Mike excuses. He said, I've been giving Mike excuses by saying that it's Jerry why Mike can't do this. It's Jerry why Mike can't do that. It's Jerry why Mike not winning. It's Jerry. James said, well, if what Mike said is true, he gets no more excuses. He gets none. This season on him, injury or not. This season on him. Not bringing back 9 starters, it's on him. Not running the ball, it's on him. And some of these injuries, because he wouldn't run the ball, it's on him. James Jones said it. James Jones said that he actually looked better from what Dak said and looks worse by what he said. So you're telling us you've had all this input on the draft? Now it may explain how Will McClay seemed to be hitting on the draft. Just hit after hit after hit before you walk up in the building. And now we've been looking at the last 3 drafts kind of like, what's going on with these drafts? This man said this is the most input he's ever had on a team. Does everybody know how Green Bay is ran? Green Bay is owned by the fans. The Green Bay Packers, if I'm not mistaken, they're owned by the fans. They don't have an owner. The fans own the team. And so there's a GM, and then there's the coach. And you're telling me that in a system like that, well, because we know those fans aren't making the decisions. You telling me that you've had all this input? You telling me last year when you went to the playoffs, you telling me that you had some kind of input and y'all didn't bring in another wide receiver at the trade deadline to help CeeDee Lamb? You telling me y'all couldn't bring in another running back to help Michael Pollard? You're telling me Dan Quinn had safeties playing linebacker and you were behind the fact that Dan Quinn didn't get Bobby Wagner? Get out of here. Get out. I'm not the owner, but I'm telling you, if it was me, get out. Get out of here. There shouldn't be one fan or one player who want Mike McCarthy to be the coach on this team. Get out. James Jones said it today, and I couldn't believe James Jones said it. I can believe it. He went a little rogue when he said that Dak quit on the team. I think that was his emotions. I think James has come back to his senses. You know what James Jones said? Neighborhood Mike McCarthy apologist. James Jones says shame on Mike McCarthy. Shame on him. He should not have done Dak Prescott like that when Dak stuck his neck out for him. He didn't care what they were saying about, well, he's trying to save his job. What job? He's not even on a contract. Oh, he wants another contract. He's trying to butt up to Jerry. James said no. He said a coach should always protect his players. Get out. Get out. That's me. I tell Mike McCarthy, get out right now. Mike Zimmer can be the coach of this team. Mike Zimmer finished the season out. I'm telling you, if the Cincinnati Bengals mollywop the Dallas Cowboys, get out. I'm telling y'all, this man is a part of the problem. Throw a rock and hide his hand. I can't roll with people like that. I can't roll with folk. I'm telling you, when you say something and you with me, stand on it. Stand on it. What's going on, Kelvin Bryant? Stand on it. I'm going to stand on it. I wish somebody would tell the truth that I've been wanting to say, been gritting my teeth to say, and then somebody said, well, hey, you know what? Since he done put it out there. Since he done put it out there, let's speak on it. Talking about you don't know what he mean. You know exactly what he mean, because we know what he meant. The majority of the football world knew what Mike McCarthy meant. They all knew. Dak, let me give you some advice. Shut your mouth. I have a saying. Say it all the time at church. Tell folks this all the time. You can't want more for a person than they want for themselves. It's futility. Dak Prescott is clearly seeing, clearly hearing it from Mike too. This man can't do the things that he want to do that could really put this team over the top. Oh, I don't know what Dak means. I don't know you know what he mean, Mike. Everybody know what he mean. Mark Schlereth said that there has not been a coach on this team that has been empowered since Jimmy Johnson. Come on, Mike. How you gonna? It's foolishness, man. Setting his fan, if Mike McCarthy go, who do you replace him with? Who would want to come to Cowboys? That's it. That's it right there. Who will want to come into this mess? Because anybody watching this, they probably roll laughing at Mike McCarthy. I bet you there were GM laughing at Mike McCarthy going, man, this dude is sitting up here lying and throwing the quarterback under the bus. I bet you they were rolling. They all know Jerry Jones. I bet you they were rolling. Nisi said Beasley, Dez, Amari, Schultz has said that about the owner, about the FO medals with their touches during contract years. David Irvin, Jerry and Steven. Even if Jerry is the face, Steven is still with it too. Janie, you said it. Mike McCarthy's trying to get out of speaking against Jerry Jones, and he is still a yes man. My uncle said it, Janie. A yes man is hard to find. Get out. Get out of here. These people need to stop vouching for this man. Get out. Now, let me go back to what I told y'all a few days ago, because some of y'all think I was hating on Jimmy. Some of y'all think I was hating on Jimmy Johnson. Trying to tell y'all about these people, man. These legacy coaches, these legacy players, these people who we all hold in high esteem for what they did for the Cowboys or what they did in their careers. Jimmy Johnson has also turned to a yes man, the very thing he wasn't on the Dallas Cowboys. Jimmy goes with the flow. That's what he does. He goes with the flow. We don't really know what Jimmy's opinion is. I guess whatever they tell him, that's what Jimmy is doing these days. If there's anybody who should be saying what Dak is saying, it's Jimmy. See, Jimmy could say, well, there's a reason why I'm no longer in Dallas. Because Jerry wants to meddle in the football business. But I think Jimmy also understands the power of Jerry on TV. I think he understands that y'all might not realize it, but Jerry's hands reaches further than football. Further than football. That's why I keep saying that if Bill Belichick comes to the Cowboys, there will literally have to be a prenuptial agreement. Just like it was with Jimmy. Here's the deal, Jerry. I do all the football stuff. I get to choose who play, who don't play. I get to come to you and say who we cut, and we have a serious discussion about it. I get to come to you and say, get this guy in free agency. And you at least going to give me one free agent, and you're going to give me one trade per season. You're going to let me be the coach of this team and handle the football business. And if you go in the press and you start meddling, every time you do it, you got to add another $1 million on my contract. And you're not paying me mid-pay when I come up in here. You're going to pay me as one of the highest paid coaches in the league. You got to do this to Jerry, because if you don't, it's going to be more of this nonsense with Mike McCarthy. This is pure nonsense. Marlon Brando said if Mike had more say, he might have told Jerry he wants his own quarterback. That's why Dak doesn't want a new coach. Well, if that's how he felt, that doesn't even make sense, Marlon Brando. Because if Mike wanted another coach, if I'm Dak, get out of here. I'm not speaking up for this man if he don't want me to be the quarterback. No, he wants him to be the coach. And I'm going to explain that part in a moment. I'm going to explain that part in a moment, what I think it is. Yep, Robert M. Yep, Steven gets the smoke too. They're one and the same. Jerry the face, but he the one doing a lot of this stuff. See what ego does? It makes the truth come out. Exactly. I'm telling you, Dak gonna learn. Don't speak up for men who can't speak up for themselves. No, let me change that. Sometimes you speak up for men who can't speak up for themselves, but don't speak up for men who are too afraid to do it. Folks will tell you about me. I tell folk about me straight up. I'm not letting you hold me hostage for a paycheck. I ain't never seen a man of God begging. I won't do it. I won't say stuff. I won't do that kind of stuff. What's going on, Purple Soul? I don't do it. I don't care what anyone says. I'm not doing it. Mike was fired by the fans in Green Bay. Get out. Purple Soul, I've been in the chat earlier this afternoon, but I still don't know everything that's transpired with Dak and Mike. Yeah, Dak stuck his neck out for Mike McCarthy, saying he wanted him to be the coach and that he wanted him to do it his way. And Mike McCarthy comes back and says, Purple Soul, he has been doing it his way. No more for me. What's going on, Jose Quevedo? Yeah, we don't need Mike. Can't do it. Time says Mike McCarthy. Man, this dude, I'm telling you, Time, this dude, man, get this dude out of here. Man, thanks. Trying to blame Kellen was petty. Now, watch this. Mike, you can always tell when it's Mike. Mike said we believe, but then when it's Mike says I personally believe. Boss Cowboys was pointing this out. Boss Cowboys pointing out how every time that Mike McCarthy, you always know when it's Mike McCarthy because he says I believe. And that's why when he got Kellen Moore up out of here, I believe we should run the ball. Oh, okay, that's what you believe now. But you didn't do that this whole season until you got Cooper Rush in the game and you figured out you couldn't go down the field the way that you wanted to. Jerry gonna let Mike go at the end of the season because of what that. Oh, wait a minute, LaQueen. Let me tell you something. LaQueen says at the end of the season because of what Dak said that he's got his back. And Dak plus Jerry want to let him go anyway. Man, let me tell you something, LaQueen. You know what? Somebody else said this. And it's almost like this could almost be some reverse psychology, couldn't it? Because what if, and I don't think it's true, but I mean, just for the X-Files for a moment, what if this is why Dak did what he did? Maybe he won't Mike go. Because maybe if he say he like him, Jerry said, oh yeah, we definitely got to let him go. Man, I'm telling you, this is crazy stuff. Get him out of here. We don't need Mike. I'm with you, Time. I'm telling you, get out. Y'all know Dak has 2 degrees. This is probably his way to get rid of Mike. I just said it. Reverse psychology. I mean, I don't know. I'm having a hard time rolling with that one. But boy, would that not be crazy. Because y'all think about this. Dak Prescott. What sparked this? What sparked Dak Prescott to all of a sudden start making rounds in the media? What sparked this? What made, I mean, y'all think about this. Because stuff is going through my mind. I mean, I'm a person, man, I'm always heavily processing information. Let me go back to this picture. Now, maybe it's just me, maybe it's just me. But I'm like, Dak Prescott in the car? Dak Prescott is in the car giving an interview? So hold on a second. You couldn't, you're Dak Prescott. You got whatever you're doing. You couldn't say, okay, hey, you know what, you want an interview, so I'll tell you what, let me get it home in my office and I'll do it at home in my office. This dude in the car. I said, this is so uncharacteristic of Dak. What made Dak feel like he had to do this? It is crazy work when you ask me. 70s fan says, if I was Mike McCarthy and didn't get an extension, I would do what I wanted to do. I'd put Jerry on notice. I'm going to run this team my way. What you going to do, fire me? But it makes me think some things, and that's why I said, because you would think that Jimmy would really be mad at Jerry. Now, I know the Bible says 70 times 7 when it comes to forgiveness. But a tree is also known by the fruit that it bears. And while we forgive folk, we don't have to trust folk when they continue to do untrustworthy things. And if I'm Jimmy, in the way I've been watching Jerry move, Jerry has been moving the same way he's been moving ever since he let go of Jimmy. Jimmy prideful too. Jimmy wanted to get in that Ring of Honor so bad. I want to care nothing about that Ring of Honor. Man, my rings speak louder than the Ring of Honor, man. I built that team that got those 2 Super Bowls. I'm not kissing your butt for this. I'm not brown nosing you. No, you destroyed men's lives. You literally destroyed men's lives. You destroyed a dynasty. You destroyed what could have been one of the greatest legacies ever. Told y'all don't believe me. Troy Aikman dropped off a cliff. How much better do you think Troy would have been had Jimmy stayed? The benefit of the doubt that even Jimmy gives Jerry, it lets you know there's something else going on. See, I'm going to tell y'all, I said this before. Dak don't really fit this team the way these other players fit this team, because Dak to me has been the only one that has stood up to Jerry not once, not twice, but 3 times a lady. Dak bet on himself. 2 franchise tags. Dak got Todd Francis, even on this contract, and Dak still stood his ground. Dak was ready to go somewhere else. Dak has been the one who has said that what Jerry says in the media don't hold weight with him. Y'all tell me somebody else who said that. Tell me anybody else who stood up to Jerry Jones like Dak Prescott has, because nobody has. Jerry can say anything he wants about Dak Prescott, but he can't do nothing but respect this man. He can't do nothing but respect Dak. He's the only man I know of that has stood up to him. What's going on, Angie? Y'all name me somebody else. I don't know of anybody who spoke up on him like Dak has. Man, Dak has said some serious stuff about Jerry Jones, whether people accept it or not. He said, man, that's what this man say don't hold weight with me. I don't listen to Jerry. I know what Jerry is about. Headlines. Man, Dak don't care. Dak don't care, and Dak been doing this, but I'm just shocked at how he did this. Like he was compelled to do it. But I hope he understands after this. Shut your mouth and let this man speak up for himself. You don't want no coach you got to speak up to. Doing good, brother. Doing good, brother Jose. McCarthy, get the stepping in my Martin voice. Get the stepping, no doubt. No doubt. Get the stepping. I'm telling us. Man, dang, fake punts. Man, It's amazing 2 wins made everybody forget about that. Not me. Get out. Time says, well, since we had until Jerry Jones gets his head out of his butt, Jerry Steve, they could go all spoken over by McCarthy. I'm telling you, they ain't going nowhere, though. They got more plans for this league. Dak on that opposite day vibes. Man, I'm telling you, this is crazy to me. Even how this all transpired. Dak Prescott have a degree in psychology. Man, he playing the game. I've said it early in the season. Man, Dak be saying some stuff and people don't be listening. Dak is way smarter than people think he is. Dak should now come back and say from now on, now I'm my own over. For real. Man, Dak could call his own plays better than Mike. Man. It just here's a Dak clone up calling it down. Boy, I would hit that X-Files button, but they'll copyright me. Man, this was crazy to me. This was crazy to me. Angie, Dark Side Dak rise again, for real. This was crazy to me. I mean, Dak was compelled to do this. And I'm like, what is going on with this thing? This man in the car. And I was wondering, Nisa, because I'm looking at the picture, and I'm like, okay, is Dak in the back seat? Is he in the back seat or the front? Because I want to say he's probably in the back. At first, I thought he was in the front, but I'm thinking he's in the back seat. That looked like the back seat to me. Because at first I was like thinking, I'm like, wait a minute, Dak driving too? But they're already talking, Nisi, that Dak is already trying to get out them crutches. He's trying to get out them crutches. But they said they're going to try to keep him in there. Mike McCarthy turned his back on Dak. Mike, man, that's crazy. I don't understand it. And I know people saying, well, he's trying to, but how do you save your neck unless you already know you got the job? This is why I'm saying Jerry playing a crazy game. Jerry playing a crazy game. Mike says some people glad Jerry Jones doing that because the Cowboys won't ever win. Jerry, it's a crazy game because Jerry is putting people in the mindset of he might rehire Mike, almost like he's trying to test the waters to see what the consensus is. And then so many people, when he dropped that hook in the water, you think about how many people bit that hook. Troy bit that hook. Jimmy bit that hook. Colin Cowherd bit that hook. Shady McCoy has bit that hook. You hear so many pundits who have bit that hook when Jerry dropped that in the water. Not me. I said I was torn, but I'm not torn. I'm not torn. Mike got to go. Mike got to go for me. What's going on, Rudolph Murphy? Rudolph Murphy said the new Dak is out now. Man, Dak Prescott said just got paid, brother. Boy, he said, I just got paid. Man, Dak talking. Hey, Angie said it. Angie said with the money Dak has, he should have a chauffeur. I'm thinking he in the back seat. The more I look at it, I think Dak's in the back seat. People who vlog and drive on. I think he, hey, Danks, I think he in the back seat, man. I think he in the back seat. Jimmy sold his soul for a jelly roll. I tell you this, Robert. I took it serious when Jerry said he asked God for that last Super Bowl. If he got that one, he'd never ask for another one. The Bible says something very clear. Don't you make an oath to the Lord and don't keep it. Don't you make an oath to the Lord. Don't you dare tell God, if you give me this, I won't ask again, and then you get it, and then you come back asking again. You done. McQueen, you said it yourself, G. Dak is fed up with everyone running their mouth, so he have nothing to lose. Dak is feeling himself. The last shall be first. hey, I'm telling you, man. And I'm telling you, LaQueen, when Dak said as the leader of this team, boy, that stuck with me. When he said that, Dak said, I don't care what Michael Parsons say. I'm the leader of this team. I'm the highest paid player on this team. But I think he might have spoke up for the wrong man. Kelvin says, let's fire Mike and get a player head coach. Kevin, you said Jason gonna get the suit up head coach, huh? Kay just said can't sweat nobody. Yeah. That's why Dak Prescott and Troy are my favorite Dallas quarterbacks. And Troy be speaking on them too. Wicked says Cowboys would be a much better team if y'all had Mike Tomlin. Boy, Mike Tomlin is a head coach. I don't think Jerry can handle Mike T. No, he couldn't handle Mike T. Boy, I heard a speech that Mike Tomlin gave this week. Man, it made me want to get up and play some football. Yeah, I can't go with Jason either, Robert. Yeah, I think he in the back seat, 70s. I had to do a double take. I thought he was in the back seat. Cheyenne said Mike McCowan should be made an example. Man, shoot. Man, Dak is tired of this nonsense going on. I think he is too, Janie. Mike doesn't know how to be boys. Man, y'all know for a fact. Dak ain't speaking out the side of his mouth. Dak is speaking based on what he's seeing, based on what he's hearing, and based on what Mike done told him. Man, Mike, man. Dak is driving. That's a pickup truck. That back glass is get with, man. I hope not, man. Dak got to stop, man. He doing too much. Troy said might be right on Dak, but it's still a good thing he already signed his contract. Troy, I didn't want Dak to hit that field without that contract. I didn't want him to hit that field. I wouldn't have. All right, Chris, have a good night, man. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll be back on tomorrow. Marlon said time to get into this game. Should be a good one. Okay, yeah, the game about to come on. Yeah, I'm going to watch this one too. Yeah, I'm going to let y'all get on and watch the game. Appreciate you. Hey, Angie. And we'll get back to what I believe about the rest of this story with Dak Prescott. But I'm telling y'all, man, it's fascinating. The 70s fan said, we haven't heard the last from Dak Prescott. Hey, Miss Matrix. Yeah, what's going on, Miss Matrix, if I didn't speak to you? But I'm telling y'all, man, this stuff is crazy. Yeah, I would love to see Mike Tomlin. Dak has had enough of Jerry Jones. Dak said, you pay me now. I'm cooking all y'all. Man. Hey, Dak got his money. But you know what? I'll tell you this. And if I'm not mistaken, some of the players has been coming out speaking up for Mike McCarthy too. But I'll say this. I hope Dak doesn't speak or say anything else about Mike McCarthy. Because I think Dak has to be careful too. I see another side of this with Dak Prescott. Dak is 31 years old, y'all. Old dogs don't like learning new tricks. A part of me says maybe Dak Prescott doesn't want change, or doesn't want a new coach because he doesn't want change. And some of these players, the ones that I think that are speaking up for Mike, maybe they don't want change. Maybe it's not so much they want Mike, but I'll tell you something about people. Sometimes people don't want change because they know with change comes change. You got to change the way you do things. You got to learn a whole new play system. I mean, you got to learn a whole new person. I mean, sometimes you ever heard the old saying, the devil you know is better than the devil that you don't know? And so it makes me wonder when some of these players are saying what they're saying and knowing that things aren't quite going. And it's not just, and now I'm convinced in some form that this isn't just Jerry Jones. Appreciate your Miss Matrix. This isn't just Jerry Jones. Some of this is Mike McCarthy because of the kind of person that he is. TME says Dak Prescott go down like 50 Cent, start playing my games. Wicked says, well, there'll be another stream after the game tonight. I think I'm going to try to do that. I think I'm going to go ahead and get out here, and then we're going to try to get back with another stream tonight. My wife will be asleep by that time, so I'll get back on. So sometimes you think about it, man, people don't want change. And that's what I'm wondering about the Cowboys and Dak and all of them. They need to be careful about this thing with change. And I'm going to come back and complete my next two thoughts tonight, Lord willing. Yeah, we need to watch this game, y'all. I'm very interested to see what the Green Bay Packers do. This could be a night that the Green Bay Packers could really I mean, I know the Eagles fans are probably cheering them on right now. So this is going to be a big game, and who knows? Anything can happen by the end. I mean, Green Bay could battle their way to the top if they wind up tied. Who knows? So, all right, guys, we're going to get off here. I'm going to let y'all go watch the game. I'm going to go watch the game myself. And if y'all be up, I'll be back. When Dak said about being the leader of this team, he was put apart. I said the same thing too, Niecy. He put Parsons on notice. For sure he did. For sure. Yeah. I'm telling you, Sedmans, he might not want change. I wish both teams would lose since they both drug us last week. Man, the Green Bay game has us dismantling our whole team. That's going to do it for me, guys. Y'all hit that like button on the way out. Appreciate you. Until tonight or tomorrow, but I'm going to try to come back tonight. Let's talk Cowboys where we talk facts. Peace.